mountains the remains of ancient giant trees? We're told mountains formed through millions of years of tectonic activity. But what if that's not the whole story? What if they aren't mountains at all, but the remains of something far greater? Well, you see, some believe that mountains are actually the petrified stumps of ancient, impossibly large trees. Trees that once towered miles into the sky, forming a prehistoric world of unimaginable scale. Look closely at certain mountains like Devil's Tower in Wyoming, and you'll see perfect hexagonal patterns resembling the cellular structure of trees. And here's where it gets even stranger. Ancient myths and religious texts speak of a time when the earth was covered with enormous trees, later felled by unknown forces. Could these be fossilized remnants of a forgotten world? Were they destroyed in a global catastrophe? Because if it really is true, then
Was Earth once covered in colossal trees, trees so massive that they stretched for miles into the sky? These trees towering far beyond the redwoods we admire today. Are the flat-top mountains actually stumps of ancient giants or trees of life? Trees are grounded, rooted to the land with so much potential and untapped energy. Imagining a world full of trees, vibrant, alive, connected, a world we may no longer recognize, but one that might still whisper its secrets through stone and the soil. Some see the past through science, others through spirit. What if both are holding pieces of the same puzzle? Did divine forces cut down these mighty trees to prevent giants from climbing into the heavens? Were they failed to disrupt humanity's consciousness, keeping us from realizing our true potential? Or is science right to claim these places were carved by volcanic eruptions, shaped by erosion, sedimentation, and time? So many questions, so many theories. Could it be all of them? A fusion of natural geometry, columnar jointing, perfect symmetry and erosion, with the power of the human mind to see symbols, faces, and stories in the land itself. Pareidolia, or hidden truths. Trees are more than just wood. They're living mirrors, reflections of us. They calm our minds, they root our spirits, and hold space for quiet inner awakening. That's why so many feel peace just walking among them. You know, while lying beneath their canopy, it brings clarity to the brain. Is this why the movie Avatar resonated so deeply? Is it because it reminded us of something ancient, something lost, something we still long for? And yet, in the name of progress, we cut them down. We flatten forests to build, colonize, and consume. Then we plant, tiny trees or saplings in their place, expecting nature to rebound instantly, forgetting that true forests, they take generations to mature. This isn't restoration, it's imbalance. From the surface, trees are seen as lumber, resources, commodities, but I disagree. Trees are life for a reason. They aren't just meant to be chopped, milled, and shipped across the globe. Every tree removed brings soil erosion, habitat loss, spiritual disconnection, and ecological collapse, right? You either have a colonial mindset or you don't, because you see living forests. Trees are beings of their own kind in their own right. To colonizers, land was something to tame, to improve, but that mindset was born of ignorance. Again, forests are alive, forests are worthy. They are more than homes for animals. They are intricate, sacred systems that sustain the planet as well as us. When we sever our connection to trees, we sever something in ourselves. In Japan, there's a practice called forest bathing, okay? It's the act of simply being among trees, letting their presence wash over you. Science now, it confirms that indigenous wisdom has long known that trees heal. Their presence reduces stress, anxiety, and even depression. So to me, trees are a bridge between worlds. In myth and memory, trees have always been bridges between realms, okay? The world tree of Norse mythology, the tree of life in Kabbalah, The Bodhi tree under which Buddha awakened, they stretch from the underworld to the heavens, anchoring spirit to soil. Okay? Trees are a mirror for self-discovery. For example, if you sit beneath a tree long enough, you'll start to hear your own thoughts a little bit more clearly. You know, walk through the woods, walk through a forest, and you might discover parts of yourself you didn't know were there. Trees remind us that stillness is powerful, that growth can be silent, that we too can be strong and rooted, yet still reach for the stars. Okay? And then if you pay attention to the cost of losing forests, you got, again, ecological collapse. Remember, over 80% of land species live in forests. When trees fall, food chains crumble, biodiversity vanishes, and some species, some wonders, are lost forever. Okay? Losing trees is cultural erasure. Indigenous communities who live in and with the forest, they lose homes, traditions, and sacred connections when these lands are stripped bare. So it also causes spiritual disconnection. The forest is not just a place, it's a presence. It's a presence. Its absence creates a spiritual void. A world without forest is a world with less peace, less wisdom, and less soul. This is irreversible damage, depending on your perspective. But once ancient forests are gone, they don't come back in a decade. It takes hundreds, even thousands of years to regrow what was lost in the season of greed. So what do we do? What can we do? What we need to do is support reforestation efforts, invest in the healing of the earth, reduce meat and palm oil consumption. Forests are raised for cattle, grazing, and palm oil plantations. Okay? It chooses with awareness. We need to buy sustainable source wood, FSC certified. Support ethical forestry that honors life, not just profit. I also feel like we need to amplify the indigenous voices. Honestly, they're the protectors of the forest. They've always been there. Listen to them, support them. Not only that, but reconnect with nature. Get out there, experience life outside of your home, outside of these cities, these smart cities. Take the time to walk barefoot, sit under a tree, share the wonder, let others feel it too. Now, many say the world is too far gone. I don't believe that. Nature knows how to heal. She regenerates. She revives. She blooms even after the deepest winter. So, just like her, we can restore what's been broken if we choose to listen, if we choose to remember, if we choose to act. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.